what happens to TR, MR and AR? Can we calculate it? Okay, TR formula is Q into P. So this one is Q, this one is P. It is 5. Now find out average revenue. Average revenue means TR upon quantity. How much? 5. Okay. Now let us find out marginal revenue. Marginal revenue कैसे निकालते हैं? With the help of total revenue. 10 minus 5. 5. Clear? So this table proves that AR and MR remains same. In which situation? In perfect competition. So you can prove it with the help of table. Because price remains constant, price remains same. That's why both the curves are parallel to x-axis. That is clear? So reason is price remains same. You know, in the perfect competition, industry is the price maker, and firm only accepts the price whatever is determined by the industry. But it can sell any amount of the commodity at the given price. If the firm wants to sell 100 units, then it has to sell at rupees 5. If the firm wants to sell only 1 unit, it will sell at 5 rupees unit. So whatever amount is sold, it is sold at the same price, and that's why average revenue and marginal revenue remains same. Now we come to the next, that is monopoly. मोनोपोली में प्राइस सेम रहता है? मोनोपोली में प्राइस सेम रहता है क्या? नहीं रहता. Here the monopolist has full control over the price. But if he wants to sell more, then he has to reduce the price. That is tendency. That is a feature of monopoly. If he wants to sell more, he has to reduce its price. That's why the average revenue curve slopes downward. And because average revenue is falling, marginal revenue also falls, and it falls faster than AR. That is the shape of AR and MR in monopoly. इसको एक टेबल से प्रूव करके देखें. We'll make same table. Units output, price, TR, AR and MR. Units 1, 2, 3, 4. Price पहले 5. अब 2 यूनिट बेचनी है तो प्राइस will reduce 4, 3, 2. Now calculate TR. T into T, Q, 5, 8, 9, 8. ठीक है calculation? That is TR. Now we have to calculate average revenue. Average revenue के लिए क्या है? Total revenue divided by units. So 5 divided by 1, 5, 8 divided by 2, 4, 9 divided by 3, 3, 8 divided by 4, 2. Clear? Now marginal revenue. Marginal revenue first 5, then 8 minus 5, 3, 9 minus 8, 1 minus 1. Clear? आपको बताया था ना रिलेशनशिप में MR can cross x-axis. MR can become negative, but AR will remain positive in the same situation. Now you see, AR is falling. So that's why AR curve is sloping downward. And MR is falling faster. AR 5 से 4 हुआ है, while MR becomes 5 to 3. So it is falling faster. That's why the MR curve is below AR. Clear? But you know, in monopoly, these AR and MR curves, these are less than unit elastic. अगर मैं आपको मोनोपोलिस्टिक कंपटीशन में अभी एक कर्व बताऊंगी तो शेप वैसे ही है डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग, लेकिन दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या है? यहाँ पे लेस देन यूनिट इलास्टिक है और उधर मोर देन यूनिट इलास्टिक. कैन यू एक्सप्लेन व्हाई? Because here monopolist is having full control over the market. If he increases the price of the commodity, then customer has no choice. Customer has no substitute in the market. They will reduce the demand, but they cannot live without the commodity. So they have to buy that commodity. So by increasing the price, demand will reduce, but at a very less quantity. That's why it is less than unit elastic. By increasing more price, the monopolist will not reduce a large number of consumers. Some consumers may leave the commodity, but most of them they will buy the commodity. That's why it is less than unit elastic. In monopolistic competition, the situation remains same. In monopolistic competition also, every firm, there are many firms and they are producing differentiated product. So each firm's product is different from the product of another firm. So each firm, if any firm or single firm wants to increase its production, it has to reduce its price. So this table will remain same for monopoly and monopolistic competition, but when we will draw the curves in monopolistic competition, these curves will be more than unit elastic. Means x-axis आपका लंबा रहेगा और आपके कर्व flatter होंगे, will be like this. This is AR. MR का फिर नीचे ही रहेगा. This is that. This curve is less than unit elastic and this curve is more than unit elastic. Why there is more than unit elastic? Table is saying it implies that if a firm here increases the price, Colgate suppose increases the price, the consumer have different choices in the market. They will not buy Colgate. They will buy some other product. It means if a firm increases its price, it will lose many consumers. जरा सा प्राइस बढ़ाने से बहुत सारे कंज्यूमर्स दूसरे प्रोडक्ट पर शिफ्ट कर जाएंगे. तो यहाँ पर आपने प्राइस जरा सा बढ़ाया लेकिन डिमांड में बहुत ज्यादा कमी आ गई, इसलिए क्या हो गया? मोर देन यूनिट इलास्टिक. मोर चेंज होता है डिमांड में. प्राइस में स्लाइड चेंज करने से डिमांड में बहुत ज्यादा चेंज होता है. जरा सा प्राइस बढ़ाने से बहुत सारी डिमांड कम होगी. That's why it is more than unit elastic. In this case, प्राइस बहुत सारा बढ़ाने के बाद भी डिमांड में बहुत कम चेंज आता है. Because here the consumers have no substitutes. There are no substitutes in the market. They have to live with that product. That's why it is less than unit elastic curve. And you know, can you tell me in these three concepts, which concept is known as price, which is equal to price? That is AR. See, that's why एक मार्क्स एक बार बोर्ड में क्वेश्चन आया था, which concept of AR is known as price or equal to price. So always AR will always remain same to price. That is one mark. Clear? Now this concept is over. Revenue में आपको इतना ही पढ़ना है. एंड मेनली ये जो तीन डायग्राम्स हैं, एग्जाम में 3 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन भी आया था. ड्रॉ AR एंड MR कर्व इन डिफरेंट मार्केट सिचुएशंस. देयर यू ओनली हैव टू ड्रॉ, बाकी एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं करनी आपकी. यू हैव टू जस्ट ड्रॉ. लेकिन ड्रॉ करने में सबसे ज़्यादा मिस्टेक होती है वो इन दो कर्व्स में होती है. बिकॉज स्टूडेंट्स ड्रॉ सेम ऐसे ही बना देते हैं, कोई डिफरेंशिएशन नजर नहीं आता. हेयर यू हैव टू ड्रॉ स्टीपर कर्व्स. स्टीप होंगे, तेजी से गिरते हुए. And here you have to draw flatter curves. उनका जो slope है वो लंबा है. So that way you have to draw the curve. That is the difference. Generally this diagram is always correct. There you will get 1 mark, but यहाँ भी marks lose नहीं होने चाहिए. So you can draw these 3 curves. Okay? That's all.
अभी हम क्या पढ़ेंगे? कॉस्ट। ये दोनों क्यों पढ़ना है? क्योंकि प्रोड्यूसर को क्या चाहिए? प्रॉफिट। और प्रॉफिट के लिए वो क्या करेगा? पहले एक कमोडिटी बनाएगा जिसमें पैसा खर्च करेगा, वो क्या है? कॉस्ट। फिर उसको बेचेगा, क्या मिलेगा? रेवेन्यू। प्रॉफिट कमाने के लिए प्रोड्यूसर कमोडिटी प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है। आया समझ में? तो प्रॉफिट के लिए हम किसमें से किसको बताते हैं? सब्ट्रैक्ट रेवेन्यू। टोटल रेवेन्यू से टोटल कॉस्ट सब्ट्रैक्ट कर देंगे तो टोटल प्रॉफिट आ जाएगा। अभी मैडम ने आपको टोटल रेवेन्यू पढ़ाया, हम कौन सा एस्पेक्ट देखेंगे? कॉस्ट एस्पेक्ट। कि when a producer is going to produce a certain commodity, where he is going to spend. For example, take one example of cloth factory. Cloth factory. What a producer will need? A building, okay, a machines, vehicles, cotton, dye, bleach, water, labor, land. Understood? So many things he requires. He has to spend on so many things. Understood? Whatever he will spend all these things will be included in cost. Understood? Now, what is cost production? Cost function, not production. What is cost function? Cost function, demand function. Have you studied?
Yes, ma'am.
What was demand function? What was supply function? What was production function? Now we are coming to
Cost function.
cost function. Cost function is a functional relationship between cost and output. Output and cost. We can write it in equation form. Cost depends upon various inputs. Cost depends upon various inputs. We will spend on various inputs. Understood? This you don't write, you will be confused because you don't know the mathematical formula. You only understood cost function is a functional relationship between output and cost. Understood? Now, these are all factors which have been used for producing cloth. Now classify it in two parts. Some factors are fixed, some are variable. If you are spending on a vehicle, for making cloth, one vehicle is required, one truck is required. Is expenditure on a truck is considered it's fixed cost. Expenditure on a truck is moving. It is a variable cost or fixed cost. Truck is moving. It is a variable cost. You have bought a truck. While producing, you will need a truck. If you have spent some money buying, you have spent 6 lakh on buying a truck. It is variable cost or 6 lakh is variable cost or fixed cost?
Fixed.
It is fixed cost because once you spent on a thing, it is needed for a long time. ट्रक खरीद लिया, ट्रक तुम क्या करोगे? एक बार खरीद लिया, कई साल तक प्रोडक्शन में क्या करेगा? मदद करेगा। ऐसी चीज जिस पर एक बार खर्च करने के बाद कई साल तक या कई महीने तक प्रोडक्शन में काम आता है, that is called fixed cost. Listen carefully the definition of fixed cost. You understood the concept? What is the difference between fixed cost, variable cost? How we denote it? Fixed cost, variable cost. You can write it like this also, and you can write it like this also.
Total.
Fixed cost or total fixed cost? Variable cost or total variable cost? Fixed cost, listen carefully. Fixed costs are those costs which changes with the level of output. Understood? Variable costs are those costs which do
उल्टा बोल रहा
ulta bol diya. Fixed costs are those costs which do not change with the changing output. If production is zero, fixed cost is 10. Production is increased, fixed cost is again 10. Production is again increased, fixed cost is 10. Understood the point? Fixed costs are those costs. Learn two sentences. Fixed costs are those costs which do not change with the level of output. First line. Second line. If production is 0, then also it is 10. If production is increased, then also it is 10. It remains the same at all level of output. Two lines again. Fixed costs are those costs which do not change with the level of output. First line, second line, it remains the same at all level of output. Then what you can tell? If it is required, total fixed cost, total variable cost. ठीक है? What is the first line? It
Does not change.
does
not
not
the
change
level
with the
of
level of output. First line, second remains
Same.
the same at all level of output. Even the output is 0, then also fixed cost is same. Your school is closed in holidays, closed in summer vacation. There is no cost. Some cost is there. Like तुम्हारा स्कूल बंद हो गया गर्मी की छुट्टी में, 2 महीने तुम नहीं आए, तुम्हारा प्रोडक्शन नहीं हुआ, तुमको पढ़ाया नहीं किया, क्या स्कूल में कॉस्ट नहीं आएगी? आएगी। क्या क्या कॉस्ट आएगी? टीचर्स को सैलरी दी जाएगी, थोड़ी बहुत कॉरिडोर में बिजली जलेगी, बिजली का बिल जाएगा, वॉचमैन को पैसे देने पड़ेंगे, वॉचमैन वहाँ होगा। ठीक है, आए ना समझ में? स्कूल में ताला भी लग जाएगा, तब भी जो कॉस्ट आती है वो कौन सी कॉस्ट है?
Fixed cost.
टीचर सब घर में वो पढ़ा नहीं रहे, प्रोडक्शन नहीं कर रहे, तब भी उनको सैलरी जो दी जा रही है वो क्या है?
Fixed cost.
लेकिन यही एडहॉक टीचर है, जैसे छुट्टी हुई उनको घर भेज दिया, उनको तनख्वाह नहीं देते, तो वहाँ पर यदि आएगा सैलरी ऑफ एडहॉक एम्प्लॉयज इज वेरिएबल कॉस्ट. यस, सैलरी ऑफ परमानेंट एम्प्लॉयज इज minimum telephone bill fixed cost. Even you do not use any telephone, पूरे महीने आप कहीं चले गए, आपने टेलीफोन नहीं यूज किया, तब भी आपको मिनिमम टेलीफोन बिल देना है. आपने स्कूल बंद कर दिया लेकिन मिनिमम टेलीफोन बिल देना है, मिनिमम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल देना है, दैट इज विल बी कंसीडर्ड एज
Fixed cost.
अंडरस्टूड द कंसेप्ट. मान लो हड़ताल हो गई, फैक्ट्री में ताला बंद, प्रोडक्शन 0, तब भी फिक्स कॉस्ट क्या होगी? प्रोडक्शन क्या है? 0, तब भी टोटल फिक्स कॉस्ट कितनी होगी? 10 होगी. प्रोडक्शन तुमने 10 कर दिया तब भी 10 है, 11 कर दिया तब भी 10 है. दैट कॉस्ट इज नोन एज
Fixed cost.
Understood? So if there is a question in the exam, what you will write? First you will write definition, then give some examples, then tell one schedule, you can draw one schedule, then you can draw one diagram. Understood? Now we will come to variable cost. Variable costs are those costs which changes for the level of output. First line. Second line. If output is 0, variable cost is
0.
0. If output is 0, variable cost is 0. If output is increased, variable cost increases. Output is again increased, variable cost again increases. Understood? Two lines. Now give some examples of variable cost.
Cost of raw material.
What you say?
Cost of raw material.
Cost of raw, very good. Cost of raw material. Cost of raw material. ठीक है? First point you have given the definition. Second point you have given the example. Third point, schedule.